After more than 35 years, Eddie Murphy is going to be returning to host a Saturday Night Live episode. Also, we have some Ghostbusters news to talk about and tons more retro news, so don't turn that dial. What up to my peoples, and welcome to Retro Crunch, your #1 source for nostalgia, pop culture, and retro news.
This is how you answer a door in my neighborhood.
Who is it? Hey, Robinson! Open the door! I heard you in there, heard the singing. Open up! Come on! Come on!
And the first story of the week is that Eddie Murphy, who more than 35 years ago was not only the youngest actor on Saturday Night Live during his time there from 1980 to 1984, but he had some of the most memorable skits that were ever created, even to this day. And he has been in the news a lot lately, and he's one of my favorite things to talk about. He was in the Netflix movie Dolomite Is My Name, and that's a really good movie, by the way. And he just finished working on Coming to America 2, which is actually wrapping up right now. And Eddie Murphy is going to be returning to Saturday Night Live on December 21st, so set your VCR or DVR or whatever you got. And he's also going to have Lizzo on there with him. She's going to be doing some singing, so this should be pretty entertaining if you really like Eddie Murphy. Alright, I'm really hoping that with all the movies and documentaries lately about Mr. Rogers, who I love, that Eddie will be able to bring back his skit about Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, which is a hilarious version of the children's show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. And since Eddie Murphy is talking about doing stand-up comedy for a special for Netflix, I think it would be a great opportunity for him to get in some practice, which he said in an interview with Ellen DeGeneres that he does want to do before he starts working on that Netflix show. So I hope he does some of these comedy jokes when he's on SNL. So I want to ask you guys, what is your thoughts on Eddie coming back to Saturday Night Live? And is there a skit or something that you really hope that he does for this SNL episode? Let me know in the comments down below so we can talk more about it. And then in our next news, if you're a lover of retro gaming, there is a book called Pilgrim of the Micro World that is about an obsessed video gamer who does analysis and criticism of an Atari game called Breakout. The book's been out of print for more than 30 years, but if you're actually interested in reading it, there's a Kickstarter to help try to get the book reprinted. And if you like that kind of stuff, there's a link down below to that. And then I have some fun news for all the toy collectors out there. eBay just announced their second annual definitive list of the top retro toys and trends for the 2019 holiday season. And if you're one of those 80s and 90s kids that likes to collect toys from back in the day, this is your chance to see what everybody's collecting right now. And then my next news is kind of more of a, oh my god, I really wish I could have this. The Ford Bronco. I know y'all are probably remembering that white Ford Bronco that was driving down the highway that had a very well-known football player in it. Well, actually, the Ford Bronco started out in 1965 and it was built until like 1995. But what's really awesome, they have a new 2020 model that just came out and it looks sweet. And then let's move on to a little bit of entertainment news. So HBO has given out a series order for the Untitled so far, our drama about a Los Angeles Lakers team in the 1980s, which was pretty popular if I remember. This movie is going to be based on the nonfiction book Showtime, Magic, Kareem, Riley, and the Los Angeles Lakers dynasty of the 1980s. So if you're a fan of 1980s basketball, this might be one that you need to keep your eye out for. And then in some retro movie news, Wonder Woman 84 has its first trailer coming out on December 8th. And Ghostbusters 3, they finally have a name for it. It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife. They finally released a new poster and some pictures for the movie, and I cannot even begin to tell you guys exactly how excited that I am for this movie to be hitting theaters. It's going to be coming out July 10th, 2020. And if I do not do a movie review for Ghostbusters Afterlife, I give all of you permission to heckle me for a week. Also, if you remember the TV show Reno 911, they are actually reviving it for a 7th season. And it's going to be coming out and streaming on a new service called Quibi.com. It's like Quibi.com. I don't know if I'm saying that right for sure, but I'll link to it down below. And then on to some reboot news. I actually heard through the grapevine that there might be a Tron reboot. I think they might be working on it. I do not know for sure, and do not take what I'm saying for gospel, but that's what I'm hearing. And then the other news is that the really popular game Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, they're actually being eyed for game remakes. I am all for this because these are some of my favorite games that I played back when I had the PlayStation 1 and 2. And I'm really excited for this news. So I'll be keeping track of this and looking forward to it. Oh, and if you're into retro news and nostalgia stuff from back in the day, be sure to check out the next video that is right over there. I will catch you on the flip side, and remember, if it ain't retro, it ain't worth watching.